It took fans over half a century to understand why one song from Paul McCartney hit John Lennon so hard. What appeared to be a subtle jab in 1971 turned out to be the spark that reignited their post-Beatles feud, and it all started with a track on Ram. When the Beatles officially disbanded in 1970, the split wasn't entirely peaceful. The group, comprised of John Lennon, Paul McCartney, George Harrison, and Ringo Starr, had soared to global fame through the 1960s, but personal tensions and creative differences fractured their unity. What followed wasn't just silence or distance between former bandmates, but a musical back and forth that fans now refer to as a song war. This brief but emotionally charged exchange of musical jabs lasted just 2 albums, but the damage to Lennon and McCartney's friendship lingered far longer. Both artists began channeling their frustrations into lyrics, using music as a weapon. One of the most explosive moments came when Paul released Too Many People on his 1971 Ram album, a song that, while never directly naming John or Yoko Ono, carried a tone and message that were hard to ignore. The track included lines that criticized someone for taking a lucky break and breaking it in two, followed by references to making a first mistake. These cryptic lines, it turns out, hit a nerve with John Lennon, who immediately saw them as personal attacks. Reacting in an interview with Crawdaddy magazine, John made it clear he wasn't amused. He claimed that Paul's lyrics were full of not-so-subtle jabs, sarcastically questioning the meaning behind the vague phrases. Too many people going where? Missed our lucky what? What was our first mistake? According to John, he wasn't alone in spotting the digs. Yoko and close friends also heard the messages loud and clear. John went a step further by mockingly thanking their controversial former manager, Alan Klein, for inspiring what he called the sarcastic tone in Ram. He referred to Paul's lyrics as a kind of sung, angry letter and brushed off critics who didn't catch the irony or humor, asking rhetorically if people expected him to be funny. The tension didn't end there. John fired back with his own musical response, writing How Do You Sleep, a scathing track featured on his Imagine album that directly targeted McCartney. The feud was now fully public. Now, more than 50 years later, fans are still dissecting what triggered such an emotional reaction from John. A Reddit thread recently revived the debate, asking why Lennon had taken Too Many People so personally. One user suggested the message was simple. Paul was telling John to back off, criticizing him for being preachy and implying that he had destroyed something great, the Beatles. Another comment echoed that view, saying the track was McCartney's indirect way of telling John to get lost. While John may have been open and blunt with his criticisms, fans noted that Paul's approach was subtler and more passive-aggressive, something John found even more frustrating. One user remarked that while John wore his emotions on his sleeve, Paul preferred to hide behind charm and ambiguity. That contrast in personalities may have amplified the sting of Too Many People. Another added that the Ram album cover itself, which showed one ram mounting another, symbolized dominance and could be interpreted as a visual metaphor aimed squarely at John. Though the song war didn't continue much further, Paul did later reveal that he had planned a follow-up titled Quite Well, Thank You. According to him, the track would have taken aim at Lennon and Ono's often self-righteous political messaging. Ultimately, the feud cooled over time, but Too Many People remains a fascinating artifact of the fallout between two of rock's most iconic collaborators.